Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Let's just jump into the fight that's coming up on November 18th, BTC 22. Your opponent, Patrick Connors. But that was not your original opponent. Your original opponent was Matt Special. What happened to him?
From what I've gathered is he hurt his hip. Um, and yeah, my coach messaged me on Sunday morning saying he was out, but luckily, the promotion and the promoter already had a guy that accepted the fight, so yeah, it was no big deal really.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
he hurt his
that's
hip.
that's good to hear because when you get news like that in this game, you're just like, man,
Yeah, especially when you gotta wait a few days until see if they
yeah,
find somebody. At least he already had somebody picked out and they accepted, so that was good.
definitely, definitely. Now, Patrick Connors, what do you know about him? How do you feel about the matchup?
Um, he I've only seen a couple of his fights so far. I mean, I've only known about him for a couple days. I'm gonna look up more of his fights this weekend, but from what I've seen so far, he's very tall. He's got a lot of experience. He's got double the amount of pro fights I have. He's fought in some pretty good guys, but yeah, he's tall, lengthy. Looks like he's got good. He does good damage off his back, but I mean, I haven't really dug too deep yet. I'll do that this weekend with it being
Is
such a short notice.
is that the same approach you take for every opponent? You're like really watching the tape and dissecting everything?
Yeah, I like to look at a few fights. I mean, I don't really focus too much on what they do because I mean, and with the level we're at, everyone's getting better every day. So you can't really take too much off fights of people who fought, because he's been fighting for longer. He's been a pro longer than I've been even fighting. So it's like you can't really take too much off of a fight that happened 5 years ago. So yeah, I kind of just focus on myself really most of the time.
All right. And with your career, man, you're 6-0, undefeated, pretty much all finishes.
Yep.
What is the hardest fight that you've had so far?
My hardest one I'm gonna say was probably my third pro fight. That was it was like another short notice fight. I was supposed to fight a guy that was 6'2", ended up fighting a short, stocky, like dude was like a bodybuilder almost. And yeah, it was a completely different style matchup. I had a different guy he pulled, and then this guy jumped in last minute. But yeah, that was my toughest fight. He hit me with some good shots, but that was a fun fight though. It was fun.
Was it more of like not being like familiar with that body type that kind of was the factors that I guess the that made it more difficult?
He I think it was more just because he had once again had double the amount of fights, so I think it was just more he was way more
Mhm.
calm out there than I was at the time. Like I said, that was only my third pro fight. That was that guy's ninth or 10th of that time. So I think it was just he was a lot more calm out there, and that was the biggest thing.
And which fight do you feel like you had the most obstacles ahead of the fight? Training camps are rough, things can happen, opponents can switch up. Is there anyone that comes to mind?
Um, no, not really. I mean, I kind of go with the flow. I kind of take everything as is. Some days, obviously, some days you have bad days, but you try not to really, dwell on them as much as when you have good days and, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, all my camps have been pretty good. I haven't really been too banged up. So, no, they've been good.
All right, and 2023, you got a couple wins here. How do you feel about how it's going so far?
Oh, it's going good. I can't complain. I'm 3-0 right now, and this year going on my fourth fight. So I'd like to end it with another win, hopefully. End the year strong.
And how do you feel about 2024? You know what I mean? Like, what do you see there?
Um, that's the year I'm hoping to get into the big leagues. Getting the bigger fights. If I get a win here, I mean, obviously you can't overlook anybody, especially a guy with 13, 14 pro fights. You can't overlook a guy like that. But yeah, I mean, if everything goes good this fight, I mean, I'm only a fight away or so from getting called up. You see a lot of these guys that are people with worse records than I have already getting signed, so it's definitely coming.
Yeah, you know, in Canada, it seems like the UFCs they want to go back. There's
They are.
right.
Yeah,
They just announced it, right?
yeah,
Toronto.
yeah. January. That's
Yeah.
the Strickland fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of, not thinking too far, but it kind of lines up perfect for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You definitely take one fight at a time. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard not to look forward to when you're, getting on the doorsteps.
Yeah, and they're always looking to sign Canadian talent, man. Ever since GSP, they're looking for the next GSP, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially with a big, even like this fight card that they got coming up that we're on. They got a lot of big names. A couple guys that have fought in the UFC on that card. A couple guys that are looking to get in there too as well. So yeah, it's a good card to be on. A lot of eyes will be on it, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there are some pretty solid matchups, like you said. There's UFC veterans on the card. When I was looking at the
Yeah,
card earlier, I was like, whoa, there's some good
yeah,
matchups, man, on this one.
yeah, for sure. It's always good to get on those cards that have going to have those eyes on them.
Exactly, exactly. And training camp, how do you split everything up? Do you just train in one location, or are you going to different spots?
Oh, I got my main gym, which is Macomb Martial Arts. We do that's where like all my coaching and training partners are. And then I also got like like just like local gyms where I'll go to like hit my lifts, my running, and my extra stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's just Macomb Martial Arts, and that's where we do all our fight training.
Didn't your gym combine with another gym recently?
Yeah, yeah. Last year, we combined with they're called New Way Training Center.
Mhm.
So yeah, yep.
What do they specialize in?
They were more of like a boxing gym, so they have a lot
Mhm.
of boxers there. But yeah, they also, had they had a smaller MMA program that obviously work with us now. So yeah, we have like double the amount of people now. So way more training partners and just different looks now. So it definitely benefited everybody.
Yeah, and having, I guess, boxing coaches come through if you need them,
Yeah,
right? It's nice.
yeah, yeah, definitely just to get the little tips and secrets that they do and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is your, because I know you're a wrestler, that's your base, but the striking is always something that you're working on. How has that journey been for you, developing the striking?
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely different, but yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. I mean, it's something new. I mean, I've been honestly striking for like 7 years now, so
Mhm,
it's like it's almost like you can consider me a striker. It's just I haven't had to show it yet. But
mhm.
yeah, I like it. I really do. It's fun. It's just different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, but then there's the difficulties of it too, right? Like
Oh yeah,
everything's
definitely.
not easy.
Yeah, no, nothing's easy in this game.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what aspects of the striking that, in the beginning was kind of difficult? Was it the footwork? Was it positioning, angles? What was it that kind of,
Oh
took you
man.
longer?
It took me actually a lot longer. I mean, my striking was, it was awful. I looked like Ben Askren out there when I first started. I put my head down and I was just swinging overhand. So it took me a while to get used to that, being able to, stay upright and keep my head up and stuff like that. But yeah, we've come a long way. But yeah, it was bad at the beginning. It was rough getting pieced up by guys, who are 125 pounds and stuff like that. Yeah, that was embarrassing at first.
Yeah, test your ego, huh?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. You come in as this big wrestler, everybody knows you from wrestling and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And you got the little guy who's 120 pounds piecing you up in the corner. You're like not trying to tell people about it and stuff like that. But yeah, it was fun. It was definitely
Yeah. I
humbling.
think everybody that trains, not even fighters that trains, can relate to what you just said.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, and if they can't or they say they don't, they're definitely lying.
Yeah, there's always somebody in the gym that's better than you at something, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's got to be that way though.
Yeah, so going back to this matchup, man, what do you expect out of yourself in this one? You have all finishes. I know that the finish comes to you. It's like something that you can find naturally.
Yeah. I mean, I hold myself to a high standard, because I know the work I put in. I know I take this very serious. This is my life. This is everything I do. So I take it very serious. I hold myself to a high standard, and I'm expected. I'm always ready for a war if need be. But I hold myself. I want to go out there and make sure I dominate everywhere this fight takes place. I'm not looking to barely skid by, get barely win. I'm looking to go out there and put on performances and make it dominant.
Earlier, you mentioned your third fight was probably your toughest one, and you got hit with some good shots. go back to that time of getting hit and then having to like overcome that. Cause I've heard fighters talk about, getting a broken nose in the first round and they got to fight through the pain to the second
Yeah.
and third and they go to the decision, you know what I mean? Like talk about, overcoming those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it comes back to like how mentally tough are you? Are you, have you battled through that stuff before? Like, yeah, he hit me hard, but I've been hit hard in practice and kept going. So it's obviously it's not the same because you got the little gloves on and stuff like that. But yeah, it just comes back to how bad you want it, and what are you willing to do to keep pushing through.
Have you seen any of the bare knuckle MMA?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, I like watching it, but I
Yeah.
mean, I couldn't see myself doing it, but yeah, it's definitely fun to watch.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about that and I said, "Man, that might be the purest form of like fighting that we have right now."
It very well could be. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think do they do the 5-minute rounds too?
I
Do you
believe
know?
so. I believe so, yeah.
Is it? Yeah, because I know the bare knuckle, the boxing, theirs are like 2 minutes,
3,
but
yeah.
yeah, something small like that. But yeah, no, that Masvidal league, yeah, that's fun
Yeah.
to watch, especially if it's on YouTube too.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Easy, easy. Man, November 18th, BTC 22, Ontario, Canada. Tyler, thank you so much, man, for the time and all the best in this fight. And hopefully, hopefully everything goes good. They got you on that January card.
yep, thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.